Here's Linda sharing God's heart.
Hello, everyone. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 10, Solomon wrote, "I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied," or he'd seen the burden that men are to carry. That burden in life was instituted in the Garden of Eden after Adam and Eve ate from the tree that God had told them not to eat. And the fathers told them that in toil they were going to eat of the ground all the days of their life. So as long as they lived, they were going to labor, they were going to have sorrow and hardship getting their food. But then in the very next verse, Solomon writes in verse 11, "He made everything beautiful in its time." God planned everything in totality to become beautiful in the time that it takes to be completed. Every project, it doesn't matter, or thing that is forming, developing, has a plan, has a sequence. And once everything fits together and is connected, then it is beautiful. So he said, yes, we're laboring, but God is making everything beautiful. Solomon continues in verse 11, "Also, he has put eternity in their hearts." God, that also is like, in addition, yes, moreover, God has permitted eternity to be placed in every person's heart who is being formed from them in their mother's womb. So from that time, there is eternity, which is a continuous existence with no beginning or no end, that is being allowed and to be formed and placed in our hearts. But it's not just put there, it's entrusted to us. So entrusting eternity to us, there's a verse in Isaiah chapter 57, verse 15, saying, "For thus says the high and lofty one who inhabits eternity, whose name is holy, I dwell in the high and holy place with him who has a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and revive the heart of the contrite ones." God lives in eternity. He embraces eternity. He dwells there. That is as I said, it's a continuous existence with no beginning or no end. That is where God exists. He does not live in time where, for instance, Jesus said, and he himself said in Isaiah 48:12, he said, I am the first, I am the last. God is our first, our last, but he hasn't have a first or a last. He lives in eternity with no beginning and no end. But he's telling us who have a time limit here on earth where we have a beginning and an end. He says, I live in eternity, but I want to invite you to live with me there. He says, I live with the contrite and the humble people, those who are oppressed, those who are crushed, those who feel that they have an internal pressure, feeling hemmed in with no way out. He says he wants to revive those who feel like that. Where can they be revived? In that place where he lives in eternity. So God has although we have a beginning and an end, God has placed that idea, that feeling, that notion of eternity, which is hard for us to imagine, but it is where God lives, and that's what he wants to impart to us. I am so excited and so encouraged by this verse, because Jesus, who came and lived here on earth and experienced everything that we experience, he is now in heaven, and he ever lives to make intercession for us. He is constantly praying for us and encouraging us to keep our eyes on him, to know that the high and lofty one who dwells in eternity lives there with those who are crushed and humiliated. So today, I want to bless you with the ability and I want to encourage you to hold on to the assurance that God is with us. He is not leaving us alone. He hasn't placed a burden on us just to be a burden, but he wants us to know that he is with us. He's always there. He's praying for us. You know, when someone says, I'm praying for you, it's very encouraging. Today, I want to bless you in Jesus' name.